everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your hosts here, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. We got an eventful episode packed for you guys today. I got my hoodie on today. I'm ready. I'm right at Brian's neck all episode, the whole episode. I'm just putting that out there.
Not me, you.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
I'm right at Brian's neck. Anyway, let's get straight into it, man. By the way, before we start off, let me ask my guys, how y'all doing today?
I'm great. I'm ready to go.
How you fired up?
I'm doing all right. No,
Man,
I'm doing great.
Before we get into details, I went and took some golf lessons, and I just want to tip my hat off to everybody that plays golf and is in that capacity to sustain that, because I almost threw the club through the simulator today. But anyway, that's my little spill. Getting straight into it, we're going to hit on NBA. A lot's been going on. The Suns, I'm actually glad that they have been handling business. I think they're 3-0 now on the Nuggets. You know, the Joker, he was the MVP, but he don't look like the MVP right now. Or he is the MVP, but whatever. Chris Paul is the one that's balling. He tricked us all. We thought he was going to have a messed up shoulder and it's going to have him out like he was when he was in Houston. But bro's been playing like his life is on the line. So they look good. Then you got the Jazz, which I took the Clippers, but I don't know if the Clippers have this type of mindset of let me play down 2-0 or whatever the case may be and I come back. But I don't know if they're going to be able to come back against the Jazz. So they're up 2-0. Then on the Eastern Conference, Ice Train came out strong against 76ers, had everybody a little thrown off. But the 76ers is up 2-1 right now. And then we have the Nets handling business with the Bucks. I know the Bucks got one game at home, and PJ Tucker's trying to get into, Kevin Durant's face and all that being said, but that's all for show. They're gonna make sure they take care of business. I know Brian's happy about that because that's his pick. But yeah, that's all we got for basketball.
Damn. All right, we'll do football since we're doing MLB after. Literally, I don't think anything has happened except for one very large thing. Because I think after we ended the podcast last time, I think the next day Julio signed with got traded to the Titans. So that's official.
I told y'all.
It was like a Julio for a second round pick, and then I think they swapped later picks. But
yeah,
I mean, what do you guys think of that move? Like, do you think it makes the Titans more dangerous? Do you think
I'm gonna let Brian.
It's just like more the same?
I think it's definitely going to make them more dangerous offensively.
He said obviously? Okay.
But I don't know if it's really going to matter in the win-loss column.
Oh, here we go.
What? Hey, are you just trying to poke at me today? Are you trying to poke at the bear today? Is that what you're trying to do? You cannot sit here and say that it's not going to generate wins. We had this discussion last week. I said, listen, last year they were already loaded in the box, 8 men, 9 men in the box to try to stop Derrick Henry. If you put 8 men in the box, 8.5, right, depending if you put the safety down, whatever side, and you leave 1-on-1 with A.J. Brown by himself, right, but add Julio? Come on. Come on, man. As defensive coordinators are going to lose sleep. Their wives or husbands, whatever, they're going to be telling them, like, babe, just relax. They can't relax. They're not going to go to sleep on Saturday. They're going to be up all night. That's crazy. Oh, my God. I can't even explain it. Like, and people say, oh, he's not going to last the whole season. For some reason, when guys get traded and people have all these doubts on them, they find a way to play the whole season. I guarantee Julio has a crazy season this year.
I think he will, too. I agree.
And it's Tannehill.
I think he'll have a good season. Yeah, Tannehill's going to have a good year.
That play action is going to be nasty. Look for a lot of deep posts.
Oh, yeah. Now, I will say the only thing I would be worried about with the wins-loss is that their defense is not the best. I mean, they're not the worst. They're middle of the road, but I don't think that they got like much better. And they're putting a lot of faith in the rookie to not have that back injury, where he's coming off that back injury. So if Farley comes in and is actually the real deal, then they might be all right. But like as of right now, they don't have much to say for like secondary.
Yeah, but Vrabel is a defensive-minded coach. He's a defensive guy, right? So it's a lot of things week to week you can scheme, right? like the thing is, it's not going to be. They're not going to be how Patriots are, right? Where their focus is primarily defense, and we're going to stop. They're not going to be like that. But all they have to do is limit teams to under 21 and under. If they can limit teams to 21 and under, it's not going to be a lot of people that can beat them. Like, it's not going to be a lot of people that can beat them because I don't see people stopping them that many times on offense, possession-wise. Like, right, actually, it's a couple teams, right, when they play against Kansas City, that might be a shootout, right? It's some teams on their schedule that, yeah, I can see that. But for the most part, the wins and loss columns, I think they pan out decent. They do decent. I think he at least gives them 2 wins, two or 3 wins.
So I just want to read your stat line.
I hope so.
I just want to read your stat line, Kenny. And Ryan. 65 catches, 984 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's Corey Davis last year. How much better is Julio Jones going to be than Corey Davis was last year?
What?
Whoa.
What?
Well, I mean, do you want to read Julio's stat line from last year? Julio, hold on, 2020 Julio. 51 catches, that's less. 771 yards, that's less. And 3 touchdowns, that's less.
Because he was out majority of the year with his hamstring. And you just trying to sit here and compare one of the top 5 receivers of all time to Corey Davis that had one good year?
So Julio is all of a sudden going to find the health tree or something, you know? He's just all of a sudden going to be healthy all the time now. I'm telling you, it's not going to amount to any more wins or losses because he can't stay healthy. And by the time the playoffs come around, Julio's going to be banged up from the whole season, and they're going to be bounced like they usually are.
He's not going to be banged up.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, then they better save his ass for the playoffs because he can't stay healthy.
He's not going to be banged up. He's not going to be banged up because they rarely had a good offensive running game on the freaking Falcons. And when they did, they went to the Super Bowls. And he was playing 15, 16 games a season. Last year, he was injured. Whoop-de-doo. You're talking about Corey Davis? Those are vacated, 90-something vacated targets. You're not including Jonnu Smith, which is another 65 vacated targets that they're not going to be thrown to the tight end. Those are going to Julio. Like, Julio's going to get the ball. Like, that's what I'm saying. You act like Julio is like this huge injury-prone guy. Last year, he played 9 games. Granted, that was injuries. The year before, 15. Year before, 16. Year before, 16. 14, 16, 15. Like, he's not... Just because he always plays hobbled and injured, but he gets it done. Like, he's always going to... He'll be on the injury report every single week this year. But he'll go out and ball. He'll be fine.
Hey, that blood's starting to boil over there.
I'm just saying, man. I cannot believe you just try to spit some Corey Davis stats at me.
Yeah, like that was crazy. He sped it out like he thought it was actually facts. Like I'm giving y'all knowledge right now. Like y'all need to listen.
He damn near almost said, "Is Julio Jones better than Corey Davis?"
Yeah,
answer that for me right now. Right?
That's what he should have said.
No, what I said is the difference between them. How much is that really going to translate to wins? That's what I meant.
I don't know. What's the difference between them? What's the difference between them as players?
Well,
what's the difference between Todd Gurley and Derrick Henry? What's the difference right now?
I mean,
it's not that different. They both had good seasons once upon a time. Yeah, but what are they doing now? I'm telling you right now.
Todd Gurley can't run anymore.
And Corey Davis had one good year. Before that, he was done. You're gonna penalize Julio from having a one bad year with 9 games when Ryan just spit off the stats. The last 4 years, he's played 15 plus games.
Also, I'd contend, even if you want to go back to Julio's greatness, if you want to go back to when he was healthy all the time, he had a much better quarterback throwing him the ball. So, Tannehill is not that good.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is top. He's
Matt Ryan
a really
right
good
now,
quarterback.
Matt Ryan right now and Tannehill are like the same level, bro.
No, I'd take Matt Ryan all day.
Just because you take him doesn't mean that's...
Nope.
Just because you take him doesn't mean that means he's better, right? You're just taking him because you're showing him favoritism. But Tannehill numbers are statistically better, especially his touchdown to interception ratio, than Matt Ryan's.
I mean, maybe
the only reason why I take Tannehill only because number one, you can't discredit the offense that he's on. He's running a better offense. He's on a team with Derrick Henry, so that counts for something. Tannehill Matt Ryan can't get away from pressure. If you get at him, that's it. It's over. Tannehill can run. He's
4'6".
athletic. He's a former wide receiver. Like, the dude can run. So, and I think that's where the NFL's moving. Like, look at all these quarterbacks now. Like, if you're a statue quarterback, you're gonna get owned. There's no way you can make it work. I mean, unless you're Brady.
Yeah, that's the only caveat. But that's a little asterisk.
I will say this with Brady. If you watch him in the pocket, it's like he knows where the pressure's going to be. He's like one of the most mobile people within like a 5-foot box. But that's it. He's not getting away anywhere. But I just don't think Matt Ryan has it.
That's preparation, though. That's watching film preparation, knowing where the pressure's coming from, taking those steps in the pocket, and he has that time clock. Like,
don't forget, though, Tom Brady, he broke Brian Urlacher's ankles on a play. Just remember that. One of the greatest linebackers in our recent time.
Okay, that added nothing.
Cool.
Just saying.
You want to cook?
He's got quickness when he wants it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, that's all I had for football. Just something quick and short.
Wait, you didn't want to bring up Juwan James being picked up by the Baltimore Ravens, right?
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
from
that.
Denver. He's like suing Denver for like $15 million or something like that.
Oh yeah. But didn't he have an injury?
Yeah.
What did he tear? He's still hurt. Like, that's why I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. He's not playing this year.
They signed him. His Achilles is torn. He's still not playing this year. We'll bring that up next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's put a check by that.
All right.
Thanks for contributing, buddy.
I got something for you guys. What we got for baseball, Brian, before we get to the great debate?
All right. Here we go. Baseball.
Here we go.
Baseball. First team to 40 wins was the Tampa Rays this year. Both them and the Red Sox are outperforming what anybody expected. The Yankees suck still, which is awesome in my book. They got the most loaded team besides the Dodgers, and they're trash. But let's see. The best team in the West, I believe, is still the Giants. No. Or it could be that, their pitcher's getting caught for cheating. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Let's just jump into it.
Coming from a Pats fan. Coming from a
Pats fan. Deflategate, but you want to talk about cheating.
You hear how it didn't take him but like 2 seconds to bring up the Red Sox.
Matters.
He's like, the Red Sox and this other team.
Yeah. I don't know everybody else, but the Red Sox.
What are you talking about? I said the Rays were the first team to 40. You don't listen. Okay?
It's only because it started with the R.
And the Red Sox. The Red Sox.
Yeah,
and the Red Sox. But you didn't bring up the White Sox. You didn't bring up the Athletics.
Why would I bring them up? They're not outperforming what were their expectations. That's what my statement was. Preseason, the Red Sox and the Rays were not expected to be the top of the AL East. Anything else you'd like to rebut here? Huh? Mr. Baseball, Ryan? Let's go.
Red Sox.
That's it.
Listen,
that's what the people hear.
I'm about to trash on the Red Sox.
If it's not Boston, it's not Brian.
I'm about to trash on the Red Sox.
I want to hear this.
To get to it?
I want to hear it.
Okay. Well,
let
me get into it.
Yeah, we're ready.
Big scandal right now in baseball. Spider Tack. It's a super adhesive. It's basically like Gorilla Glue. Olympic lifters use it when they're picking up Atlas balls. So those are huge concrete balls that weigh anywhere from 250 pounds to like 360 pounds. So that way their arms stick to it when they're hugging them, So super sticky shit. There's been reports of when they throw balls out of the game that have been thrown, but they like hit the dirt because this is what pitchers do. They don't want to pitch a ball that's been in the dirt already. It'll get thrown out of the game. It'll get thrown into usually the home team's dugout. And players have been getting these balls, and they'll see like stitching is gone on it, like the stitching. Sometimes the MLB logo is gone because the adhesive that these pitchers are using is so strong. Okay, and what that translates to is spin rate. And what that means is the pitches come faster, they cut harder. So a fastball, usually it will start to slope down by the time it gets to the plate. But if you get a faster spin rate on it, I know I'm getting super nerd here, it'll stay up. So when you get when you get a high fastball that's gonna stay up, it makes it a lot harder to hit. Which is, I mean, the reason why the league average right now for hitting is at all-time low in the last like 20 years. And you got pitchers like Garrett Cole, who he used to be on the Pirates, okay? He got traded in the offseason in 2017, I believe it was, to Houston. Remember them? Houston? They're the cheaters who were banging on the trash can.
The cheaters.
So, anyways, their bench coach was Alex Cora, who's the coach for the Red Sox. So, this is how I'm getting to the Red Sox here. Garrett Cole's ERA when he was with Pittsburgh was in the low 4s. Gave up about 4 runs a game. His ERA has dropped down to the low 2s. He's literally cut his ERA in half. And this all translates back to Spider Tack. He was asked directly recently in the last week, have you ever used Spider Tack? And he refused. He said, I don't know how to answer that. Because he didn't want to lie, but he also didn't want to admit that he's cheating. So, it's clear proof.
He did the right thing. He didn't tell on himself.
No, that's fine.
Sounds like
why would
I'm not. I know, but listen, to say that this is not a significant thing is asinine. Because to cut an ERA in half, that is amazing. Like I don't know how. Like that's how like amazing this stuff is for the pitchers. Another pitcher, Trevor Bauer, he won the Cy Young last year. In 2018, he was quoted saying, if I use sticky shit like some of these other guys, I would be the best damn pitcher in baseball. And then, lo and behold, 2020 rolls around and he wins the Cy Young. I'm just saying, I think he started cheating too.
So are you saying that Trevor Bauer is using the Spider Tack?
Yeah, because
or are you just making an assumption?
No, his career ERA was over 4, and he was actually, I think, under 2 last year. And so
you're saying any guy that has progressed in his career, that's as a pitcher is pretty much using Spider Tack to cut his ERA. If he cut his ERA in half or cut his ERA down a point or point and a half in the last couple of years, then he's using Spider Tack.
Most certainly, yeah.
Nobody's working hard.
I'm telling you, in order to cut your ERA that much, that significantly, you have to have a drastic change of some sort. It's yes, pitchers can get better over time, but they are not getting better that quickly and that suddenly. Okay? Like, it's a huge deal. And anyways, you're talking about baseball, okay, right? Baseball, what's the problem? It's boring. How do you make it better? Score more runs. So, why are you going to let the pitchers cheat and make it harder to score runs? It's bad for baseball, and it's it's bad for all the hitters' careers. Like, how are these hitters going to feel they can't hit balls? They're not going to get good contracts.
Listen.
Hey, question.
It's for you to go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question. You said Cole? Hold on, what's it? Garrett Cole? That guy, the pitcher?
Garrett Cole, yeah.
Yeah. His ERA had it pulled up. In 2015 was 2.6. Then it popped up to 3.88 and 4.26. So it's not like it was down in the 2. It went down to the 2.6 in 2015, and then it went high. He had two real bad years.
It's not like it was just. It was not like it's just 4 across the board. And then it
hold
just
on.
dropped.
How many innings did he pitch?
Like he's never been there.
I don't know. He
that
played
matters.
Why?
His record in 2015 was 19-8.
Oh, come on now. 19-8.
So you have one anomaly.
19-8.
That's what you have.
Come on.
I mean, I'm sure you all have done statistics.
Or he showed potential.
Okay, this is an anomaly.
So hold on. Okay.
Anomaly.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but for you to say it as if this hasn't happened in the whole history of baseball is crazy. Like, there's been some type of performance or some type of substance, some type of something to give a player an advantage in the whole history of baseball. So you're making it seem like baseball has been this innocent sport this whole time. I never said that. And all of a sudden, pitchers are using, but you're saying it. But you're not saying it out your mouth like, hey, baseball's pure, but you're pretty much saying that by saying, oh, they're using Spider Tack and that's cheating. Like, people cheat all the time in baseball. Right. People cheat all the time in a whole bunch of different sports. Like, what is the difference between having a pitcher, right? He's trying to get more grip on the ball, right? I understand they got pine tar and all these different things, right? But he's trying to get more grip on the ball than a player that has adhesive on his gloves to catch a football, or a player that has that on his gloves to swing it back to keep more grip on the bat. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand that it can make a difference, right? And it can affect the play, but you're making it seem like if it wasn't for Spider Tack, he would be a horrible pitcher, and that's not the case.
Here's the difference.
That's an assumption.
The difference. Pine tar is used by both batters and pitchers for grip, and it technically is actually illegal to use in MLB. However, it's an unwritten rule where they don't tell on each other as long as they don't make it blatantly obvious, because they want to have control of the pitches. They want to have control of the bat because it's a safety thing. Okay? The Spider Tack, I'll tell you what, Spider Tack is not about control. It's about spin. That's all they care about. And also, walks and hit batsmen right now this year are on pace to be much higher than they have been in recent years. So it has nothing to do with control anymore. It has nothing to do with safety. It has to do with these pitchers wanting to have a huge competitive edge over the hitters.
But what I'm saying is that if the hitters could use it to their advantage in some way, they would. So they're only playing tattletale because they don't have an advantage. It doesn't help them in any advantage. That's the only reason why. Like you just said, pine tar is unwritten. Like, shh, everybody be quiet because we're both using it, right? But if a batter was using it, then guess what? If a hitter was using it, then guess what? He wouldn't say anything either. So I don't want to hear it about Delon Garrett Cole getting caught or another pitcher getting caught when it's just because you're not benefiting from it. That's it. If you were benefiting from it, then you would be okay with it. But since you're not, now you want to tell and say, oh, it's unfair. It's unfair. Like, nah, bro, that's bull.
Yeah, the difference is this is now impacting performance. Before it was not. Okay, pine tar does not impact performance really that much.
Now it doesn't impact it that much. It impacts it still, though,
it
right?
could increase walks. You're right, and it could increase hits batsmen if they weren't using it as pitchers, and you'd see more bats flying out of hands if they weren't using it as hitters. You're right, but having your spin rate increase by upwards of 300 revolutions per minute, I mean, that is a big increase, and that is the proof is in the MLB has been confiscating balls all year. Okay, they started with Trevor Bauer, and you know what he said? He said, "Wait a minute, why are you only looking at my balls?" So he basically dimed out everybody else, anyways. Like, he knows he got caught
because everybody else is using it too.
Okay, and I don't blame him for saying it. You know, but what I'm saying is the MLB is cracking down on this shit, and so I have a feeling that the runs are going to start going up soon because a lot of these pitchers are using it. And actually, this past week, you've seen games where pitchers that have been pitching better than normal now are coming back down to reality. And that includes the Red Sox, who have, let me just say this, the Red Sox were in the top 3 for spin rate this year, okay, with the Dodgers and the White Sox. And if you look at the Red Sox pitching staff, it's terrible, okay? It's terrible. But yet, all of a sudden, the reason why the Red Sox have been decent this year is because their pitching has been good. And I have a feeling it's because they were all told, hey, let's use this substance that started back in Houston when Alex Cora was in Houston. And he brought his dirty little tricks with him to Boston.
All I have to say is I understand what your point is, and we're just going to agree to disagree, because if it's simple, the game changes. The game changes and evolves over time, right? Whether it's substance or different things, technology, whatever the case may be. You either step up to the plate and perform, or leave the sport. Like, it's that simple. Like, people, when Steph Curry started shooting all these threes, and people saying, oh man, the game is changing, man. They're taking away from the greatness of basketball. People just want to shoot. Nobody wants to go in the low post. Bro, the game is evolving.
Yeah. The
technology is evolving. People are doing different things. Like, if you don't grow with the times, then you don't need to be in a sport. And that's the same thing. You think it's going to stop at Spider Tack? It's going to be some other technology. It's going to always be something new that they're going to go to. So at the end of the day, it's water under the bridge. It's not going to stop something. They're going to say, okay, no Spider Tack. They're going to find another technology and use it. There's going to be an evolving door. So it's not like baseball is going to kick those dudes out. So it's really like, it's pointless. And that's my last part on it. I have nothing else to say.
I mean, whatever. I disagree because I feel like you have a dying sport and this Spider Tack is hurting it. And MLB has to get rid of it because it's bad for the sport.
I mean, the sport was dying regardless. I mean, when...
Yeah, like
listen to the batting averages the last 20 years. It's like low twos, like 2.5. Like it's way down.
And now it's
so who wants to watch a sport? Yeah, 0.23. So who wants to watch a sport where you're only seeing a hit 25% of the time, or lower than that, whatever, really low.
One out of every 4, pretty much. 1 out of every 4 batters get a hit. That's bull.
I don't know what I did to my screen.
But that's just baseball.
That's the game, though.
People still enjoy baseball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just divvy away from that and get straight to the great debate because it was kind of like a boo-hoo baseball, which we really don't care. All right, y'all baseball players, step it up. Get your A game. Don't stop with the excuses and just step up to the plate. Right? Get with the times. I didn't say cheat, right? But if people are cheating, learn how that can benefit you, right? Learn how you can hit these Spider Tack baseballs with the revolution. Have somebody throw high revolution balls to you so you can be able to hit those, and then you increase, right? I know it's not that simple. It's a lot harder than that, but I'm just saying, stop making excuses. Everybody makes excuses. Forget the excuses. Step up. Anyway, my bad. Back to the great debate. Yeah. I'm coming. I'm with the smoke, man. We're going straight to it, man. The great debate. We got baseball. We're keeping on baseball, right? Because I know Brian, it's a soft topic for Brian. So baseball's Mount Rushmore, right? Who you guys is baseball Mount Rushmore? So we're gonna start with you, Ryan. We know you're the baseball
I'm the baseball
guru, right?
guy. Let me get my hat real quick. Look, y'all know I don't care. So I'm gonna put Barry Bonds up there because I love when people were using steroids and hitting home runs. Because who doesn't like that? Listen, I had this conversation with Brian the other day. Baseball was interesting when people were hitting home runs and people want to see that.
I'm telling you.
All right, Hank Aaron.
So let's make pitching harder so we can't hit home runs, right? Okay, keep going.
Yeah, you're right. Wait.
Barry Bonds would never.
So I got Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and I had one more.
I hope so. There's 4.
Yeah, homie, chill. Mickey Mantle, because I saw the movie 61 and I liked him.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, or you just?
No, that's it.
Any analysis behind that, or just spitballing?
No, my only. I feel like those are the only baseball players I know, and the other ones are Pete Rose because he's controversial, and Sammy Sosa and McGuire because I like the steroid. We should make a Mount Rushmore steroid Mount Rushmore. Yeah, dude, that would.
Oh man, we should do an episode like that.
They should bring back the roids. They should just make it backyard, MLB The Show or Blitz. Let these guys use steroids, pine tar, everything. Just be yeah, whatever you guys want to do. This is WWE of baseball. This is what we need.
Side note, you remember when they had in the video game NFL Blitz? I think it was 2000 or something, when the dudes used to break their leg and then they used to shoot themselves up with steroids and this is real football. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Come on,
That's
man.
what we need.
They
need to be in it.
I'm gonna piggyback off of you, Ryan. Right? I know you didn't bring the analytics to it, but I'm gonna bring the analytics behind it, right? Because I had Barry Bonds as well.
Too easy.
Right? Because I'm a big Barry Bonds fan. Younger, watched him all the time. Big Giants fan. Him and Jeff Kent. That was my little, duo in, MLB triple play. But think about it. I understand people are gonna say he has a little
asterisk.
I guess asterisk, or he has a cloud over him because of the steroid
Which is
stuff.
bullshit.
21 years, bro.
22.
21 years playing. He's leading
22.
22? I thought it was 21. Anyway, 22, 21, either way. All right, my bad, baseball guy. I apologize. But his batting average 298, right? He has 762 in home runs. He people make this big transition he had, which he did. He did get bigger, right? But when he was at the Pirates, he was stealing bases, right? And it wasn't like he stopped stealing bases when he got to the Giants. He did a little bit, but it just the later in his career, like anything, Father Time, you're gonna stop running as fast, right? So still stolen bases, he had 514 stolen bases, right? His slugging percentage was 607. The man, regardless of the steroids, the man was a baller still, and that's why he's on my Mount Rushmore because he still was, he won 8 Gold Gloves. He still was in the field, like as far as fielding wise, he was really good. Like he wasn't a bad player at all fielding. Like some guys kind of drop off when it comes to the fielding, but he was not him, right? So he's on my Mount Rushmore, right? Behind him, I got Hank Aaron as well, right? Like Big Hank, you know what I mean? He, of course, because I learned about him because of Barry Bonds. He broke his record. But Hank Aaron, same thing. He was just a slugger. And I feel like that age, that time in baseball was like slept on because I feel like there's a lot of players that were in that time frame that people just forgot about. Like people just didn't even think about. Like you hear Hank Aaron, you hear Willie Mays, those guys, but it's other people that I was looking at that's in there as well that I felt I could have made my Mount Rushmore. But Hank Aaron, same way, 755 home runs, a 300 plus batting average is actually a 305, which is dope. Well, it's not dope, it's really good. Sorry. Had over 2K RBIs, and again, like my Mount Rushmore is based off a lot of sluggers with a caveat of one pitcher. And then of course I had Willie Mays, which I really paid attention to Willie Mays. I think it was his birthday just passed.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe. And they were just passed, and they were talking about his greatness, like how great he was, and how he was like talking about him, hitting 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases and something. And they were like, "Oh man, that's crazy!" Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Man, if I knew that was actually going to be a thing today's day, I would do that every year." He said, "That's easy. I could have been did that." And it was crazy, just like how athletically gifted he was, and the fact that he had 12 gold gloves. He won a batting title. He had a 660 home runs, 300 batting average as well. And those are my 3 sluggers that I have. My last guy, Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson. Like, that's my guy. Pitcher. I loved him being a lefty, tall frame. He could spot the ball and put it anywhere. Won 5 Cy Young awards. This is a note I looked up. He's the only pitcher to ever throw 329 strikeouts for 5 straight seasons. Like it was 5 seasons, right, that somebody had threw 329 strikeouts, and he did it all 5 times. He was the only person. Like the only person in 4 decades to do that. Like it's crazy. His ERA, right, is 3.29, which when you look over, you're like, that's decent. But he had a little stretch where his ERA was in the low 2s. Like it was crazy. Like he had a stretch where it was like nobody could hit him. And I don't know if it was because he's 6'7", trajectory, how he could throw the ball. But he got his miles per hour was close to the hundreds in the high 90s. Like he was a good player. I know he had a crazy fastball. I don't know anything about all the baseball pitches. If he had all the changeup and all that stuff like that. But I just enjoyed watching him as a pitcher and a baseball player. But those are my 4 from Mount
You think
Rushmore.
he was using Spider Tack?
No.
Yeah, he probably was using Spider Tack. Back then it's called Diamondback Tech because he played for the Diamondbacks, so he had a Diamondback Tech, and that's probably why he was pitching so good and people couldn't hit his baseballs, but he just didn't get found out.
No.
Nobody found out about it. So
I think
good for him.
It was more,
good for him. Because those 5 years that he had the 329 strikeouts, people were questioning. They said, "How is he able to do this?
Yeah,
it must be the Spider Tack. That's the only reason why, right?" But nah, I don't think
it had nothing to do with him being.
But
it had nothing to do with him being.
But Brian knows
6'10", not 6'7", and it had nothing to do with him throwing. Yeah.
Oh, he was 6'10" and not 6'7"?
That's why.
I apologize.
And he
my bad.
threw in the high 90s. I'm not sure if he actually touched 100, but he was around 98. He was best known for his slider, which was nasty. That thing cut a lot. So because of the Spider
His
Tack.
mustache.
And then yes, he was known for that stash and the long hair until he went to the.
Randy, I apologize, bro. I took 3 inches away from you.
Yeah,
6'10",
don't do
not
that.
I'm sure he
6'10",
doesn't care as long as
6'7".
you're adding those 3 somewhere else. Just kidding.
As long as I'm mentioning the
Long arms.
Cut it out. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out. I'm
Oh
done.
man.
Cut
What?
it out.
He wants
All right.
longer arms.
Yo, man, I'm done talking. Nah, bro, I'm done talking. Nah, I'm done. I'm done with it. Go ahead, Brian.
Kenny, you stole my
Golly.
thunder.
You
Yeah,
had the exact same?
I did.
No, 3 out of 4 though. 3 out of 4.
And they say I'm not a baseball
So I also
guy.
had Randy Johnson because I wanted to put a pitcher in there. Even though I wanted to put Pedro, but I have to admit Randy Johnson was a better pitcher. It is what it is. Pedro had a better ERA,
Yeah.
but Randy was filthy. And he did it for
He did.
longer. And everything you said about him. And I'd argue he deserved more than 5 Cy Youngs. There was many years when he should have won the Cy Young. Like he lost to some no-name guy. He had a better ERA, better strikeouts. It's just crazy. Like some of these awards don't go the way they should. It's kind of like how Shaq doesn't have more MVP awards in the NBA. It's kind of a similar thing. But anyways, yeah.
He's probably using Spider Tack in
that's
the
how he
basketball.
dunked it.
That's when he found it out. That's
Yeah,
probably
had nothing to do with 7-2.
Yeah, right. Stuck to his hand.
But
I know.
I also had Barry
It's all about
Bonds.
spins.
I also had Barry Bonds. People want to shit on Barry Bonds for the steroids. It's bullshit. The guy was, first of all, a filthy hitter. Okay, like he hit.
I just
over
love that you're
300.
leaning in. Like, listen.
Like I'm
listen.
sorry. Listen.
Like let me let
Listen,
y'all
this
get
guy,
these nuggets.
All right. Yes, he used steroids, or allegedly. It's actually never been confirmed that he used steroids.
Allegedly.
It's just. I know,
'Cause he
and I
took
don't
it to-
blame.
he's taking it
but
to the
anyways,
grave.
the first
Him and OJ.
the first year they can actually trace back to when he used steroids. It was 1998. He started playing in 1986. From 1986 to 1998, I did the math. He was on pace to hit 38 home runs per year. Just so everybody knows, Hank Aaron, who was great and was the home run king, his average for 162 games was only 31 home runs. So Barry Bonds likely would have beat that record anyways. So I don't want to hear about steroids. All it did was make him hit the ball further. It didn't mean that his bat speed was better or that he was more accurate at hitting. Like he was already a great hitter. He was a Hall of Famer by 1998, and he played until 2007. So, I mean, whatever. People can bitch and moan and not put him in the Hall of Fame. This is his last year, by the way, of eligibility, which is bullshit that he's not in yet. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer all the way.
Wait, he's not in? And
No.
they cut you off at like
No.
when you can get in?
It's,
So you have 10 years. It's 10
yeah,
years.
I think it's 5 years, right?
But then
Or
that's
something.
it. You're like, oh, you didn't make it. You suck. Bye.
Well, you can make it. Basically, the the people that are in the Hall of Fame can later on in life they can vote you in.
Can
So,
vote you.
but the first 10 years, it's just the writers.
But I thought wasn't this last year his highest percentage he had, right? Wasn't he like 50, 54,
Yeah, but you need
53%?
75 to get in.
Yeah, like I don't understand why like people are like, oh, I forgive him. I forgive him. Like, bro, come on.
I also
man.
think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of
Anyway,
Fame.
sorry to cut you off.
I love that guy. too.
Yeah.
And
That's nah. He went
Why?
he went a little too heavy. He went a little too
You
heavy.
just
what?
want some
Come on.
money.
he just won money, bro. It's not like he was throwing games.
What?
Get out of here with that. He's still the all-time hit leader.
All right.
You can't take that away from him. But anyways, let's get back to Bonds because I'm
Nah,
still
you
not
can't.
done with him. Yeah. So
My bad.
Bonds, man. Oh, 7-time MVP. Did you say that? Ridiculous. ridiculous. Okay,
No, I didn't say
The
that
guy is
MVP.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He might be He might be the best baseball player we've ever seen, honestly. So, and people,
I'm telling you,
I just can't understand why he's on the Hall
of all
Anyways,
time.
let's move on. I'm done with him. I also had Hank Aaron. You know, same reasons Kenny outlined. Great player. You know,
What about I outlined?
He played for 23 years. Huh? Did you say Hank Aaron too?
Don't listen to it. Yeah, he did say Hank Aaron. I just been jumping off of it. We've been jumping off each other's back. Hopefully, you can get to the goal and dunk it like you're doing now.
I ain't got really much more to say about him. He's one of the greatest baseball players ever. That's why he's on the Mount Rushmore for all three of us. Anyways, my fourth. I had to put my man up there, Ted Williams. Yes, he played for the Red Sox. So you can call me a homer. Go ahead.
Ted Williams is dope.
Just say it.
We already know. We know that every episode is going to give us at least
Don't
one
say
homer.
hi.
It's written by your name.
Ted Williams, though. Do you know what the Triple Crown is there, Ryan?
Is it a Boston thing?
No, we're not talking horse racing either. Okay?
No,
The Triple
it's
Crown
not a Boston
in
thing.
baseball. It's to lead the league.
Where they lead in like 3
Average-
different stats?
Average, home runs, and RBIs. Ted Williams
Yeah.
is one of 13 players to ever do this.
Yep.
Here's the difference. He did it twice, and he should have done it a third time. But instead of sitting out like most players would this year, or nowadays, and just to secure it, he played the last game of the year, and he went 0 for 2 and lost the batting title. That was, I think, 1949, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, selfless. He didn't care about the stats, which is great. I mean, his career batting average was over 340. Career. I mean, he was an insane hitter. He hit over 500 home runs. He should have been MVP more than he was, but back then, Yankee bias was big back then. Joe DiMaggio won a couple of MVPs when really Ted Williams was the best player that year. Is what it is, whatever. But yeah, I had to put him in there. I think he's probably the greatest left-handed hitter ever, and that is including Barry Bonds, even though I love Barry Bonds too. But Ted Williams, he just was a better average hitter. You know what I mean? Like he would get you hits more often. That's all. Yeah. So also, I wanted to bring up a couple of honorable mentions that I really considered.
I had the same.
You know, there's only 4 players, so I'm sorry. Obviously, Jackie Robinson transcended the sport, so he deserves to be mentioned. He didn't play for very long because he didn't get into the MLB until he was 28. It's obviously not his fault. It was the times. He was the first black player to play. So, I mean, you know, they didn't give him a chance until he was older. So, it was unfortunate. But, you know, like he should be mentioned because, you know, he did a lot of great things, not just for the sport, but for the whole country. You know, he marched with, you know, Martin Luther King. So, I mean, he's a great figure, and he should definitely be mentioned with the Mount Rushmore people. And also, moving on, I think Ken Griffey Jr. should be mentioned. I'm sorry, but if the man had stayed healthy, he would be the greatest player ever. Okay, statistically. It's unfortunate that he just couldn't stay healthy. But, I mean, he was good up until about age 30. And then the injuries started, and he just never was the same. He still hit for over 600 home runs. So, I mean, insane. So, I just wanted to mention those 2 guys. You got any more with Kenny that you had thought of?
Yeah, so I was going to add on to that. Like, I had Ted Williams as well. Of course, like the Triple Crown, he could all the hits and things like that. Ken Griffey, of course, just because like he's like in every sport, there's a couple monumental players that are just like transcendent, and he was one of them, right? Joe DiMaggio, of course. I put him on. I know you said he took a couple
one thing about
MVPs from
DiMaggio Ted Williams, they both missed 3 years playing in their primes because they went to World War II. Just wanted to mention that. So that's why some of their career numbers. Yeah, it is.
Which is crazy too.
And still were great players after 3 years missing. You know.
All right, this is not a homer pick then. All right, I accept. It's not a homer pick, Brian. Dude, the guy didn't even hit below 300 until he was 40 years old. Like he. And then 40 and then 41 like, he hit
that's crazy, bro.
316. So like he just wanted to he went out being like, "Oh, by the way, I can still do it." Like, okay. I got you. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just had that and then I put like I'm a big Alex Rodriguez fan as well. And I know it's a long way from, Mount Rushmore, but he has some crazy numbers as well. And of course, everybody's going to say Babe Ruth, right? Yeah. And I know Babe Ruth is legendary, but the time frame that Babe Ruth played in, his talent wasn't the same. Like the talent wasn't the same as far as like. Oh no! If you look at it, if you say Babe Ruth, I forgot I was looking at a couple other players, but it was a drop off. But everybody else kind of had like
Have you ever hit a home run? Have you ever hit a home run while wasted? Babe Ruth has. That dude was like drunk every game. Like
this is 100% true.
Like
that the dude was getting hot dogs in the stands.
All right, man.
He's awesome. Like he should be.
Listen.
Yeah,
and he was huge.
He awesome, but I'm on my
He was hitting off of pitches that were thrown in the mid '80s. I mean, I'm sorry, it just wasn't the same. Those are meatballs. Yeah,
like he was hitting and
he was
pitching.
A filthy pitcher too. Like
yeah, his pitching I would say is better than his hitting if people really looked at it, right? But of course, like you said, he's hitting meatballs. Right? He knocking them 700 and what? 715, right? 715, 712? 713? Yeah. So like I understand what people say out there, and I know y'all probably gonna give us hell.
They're not gonna give me hell.
This is our picks, man.
All right.
That's just how we feel.
Well, here's my knock on Alex
Rodriguez. But they expect.
I just wanted to say this: Alex Rodriguez was never a winner. That's
right.
He just didn't have that winning it factor. He just, I don't know, man. He just never was a winner in my mind. I just don't. I put a big emphasis on that. I like winners, and I will say, even though Ted Williams never won a World Series, but that's different. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. But like that's fine. Yeah. It's your part. He didn't make my Mount Rushmore, so I'm not upset. I'm just a fan of him as a player. So
that much, I just don't think he was a winner. Some guys don't have it.
Some guys. Hey, well, everybody, that's what we have for the great debates. Great debate. Before we let you guys go, I do know UFC 263 is coming up, and I'm a little bit. Me and Brian are a little gamblers, right? This is my pick, and he's just kind of riding on my back with it. I'm hoping that I'm correct. For 263, if you guys push some money out there. I think I can get y'all a good pity. Last time, right, I was 2 out of 3, right? I think I can get y'all over the hump, right? That really get y'all a steak dinner. So we got Israel Adesanya at minus 260.
Oh shoot,
Ryan, I need your help. Ryan.
Figueroa.
Listen. Figueroa. Listen, I don't know his name, but I watched his last fight, and it's Figueroa in minus 190. Anyway,
what's the difference?
That was Italian.
No,
that was
I'm just kidding.
Spanish. I don't
What's
know.
the difference?
Or Latino. No, just cut it out. So anyway, minus 190, right? And then Nate Diaz is plus 400, which I know Nate Diaz. He's going against Leon Edwards, and my fellow Jamaican, and I know it's kind of I'm not taking a homer like Brian would, but
yeah,
Nate Diaz is a warrior, man. I like how he fights, man. Out of Stockton, California, he's just a warrior. So take those 3 guys for your parlays and get y'all that steak dinner, man. I'm putting it out there.
I love that you wore your hoodie the whole
time. I'm gonna
time.
bet this one, all right? Because if I don't, I had to wear my hoodie the whole time because I was trying to match Brian's energy, and it was crazy because we started apart. And then we ended together, like on the same side. Like he ended up jumping off. I jumped off of your back. He jumped off of my back, and he ended up finishing for the great debate.
He had to wear.
And that's how
he had to wear the hood because he knew I'd be raining down on him. So
you know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, before we separate,
Boy,
maybe
bye.
we should end this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I didn't know what you say. I don't know what you're talking about. That was weird. Anyway, guys, like always, man, we appreciate you guys joining us for another episode. Follow us on all the social, right? Subscribe to us on YouTube, and leave comments and, tell us what you guys like, dislike, and we will see you guys next week, man. Y'all stay safe.
Bye.
Peace.